welcome to And in this video, I'm going to show you updates to the mortgage fraud package. The mortgage fraud package has been transformed into the foreclosure fraud package, and we added a few new things to it. So we're going to give you guys just a little rundown on that, and then I'm going to show you guys what the file looks like. But I'm not going to open them up. We'll open up the documents in the next video after I double check everything and make sure that everything is just perfect. So this foreclosure fraud lawsuit package that we're replacing the mortgage fraud package. Basically, we're just replacing the word. We're just replacing the word, the word mortgage triggers financial, whatever, when you're trying to market your product. So we're just changing the word, but we're also beefing it up, adding a few more things to it. Now, this revolutionary lawsuit will protect your investment property from illegal foreclosures, unlawful tax lien foreclosures. It'll protect you from HOA situations. Pretty much, we learn how to address the why they're able to violate you and drag you into their administrative court, and not so much the what they did. Now, there's no law that forces homeowners to register a deed in these players' offices, and the illegal registration of that deed is what allowed the first illegal lien to be placed on your property. And the first illegal lien was a mortgage lien. Think about it this way: if there were several people who own property, all of the owners would have to be present to sign that lien. Yep. So the fact that the alleged lender accepted the homeowner's signature on the lien shows that the homeowner already owned that property, and I smell stink. Now, the players can't respond to our documents in the foreclosure law because we are addressing the real facts that's going down. The mortgage fraud package addresses the 42 U.S.C. 1983 due process violation because they violate you with their statutes and codes, and statutes and codes are not vital law. The mortgage fraud package also addresses what happened after you left the signing table. Yeah, the illegal. Basically, it's real estate deed fraud. That's what it is when they. But we're gonna call it mortgage fraud. We're gonna call it mortgage fraud still right here, right now, until we get over to the flip side. Now, our lawsuit package identifies the due process violations in the state's day-to-day processes and procedures. Those processes and procedures violate your due process. In the non-conventional game plan that we structured, we never respond. And this is really important to remember and helps you understand how we do things here. We don't respond. We don't rush around worrying about answering to them. What we do is we reply. We reply and start to beat down with the punching documents in the lawsuit packet. The Federal Rules of Civil Procedure mandate that if you have defenses, you don't have to answer to their crap. And we have offenses in the punching documents that we stick in the face one at a time. Now, the goal is to stop the state court process, not argue anything over there or none of that. We don't move things anymore. We don't do that. You have to stop the state court process with the punching documents and then get your stuff filed in federal court, or get your stuff filed in federal court and stop the state court process. If you don't do it that way, what they do is get on the phone, they ring each other up, and they start figuring out how to stall. So we stop the state court process with the punching document, and we get the lawsuit filed in federal court as soon as possible. The federal filing is what runs the show. It is what helps you control the program. Now, if you're already in federal court, you just do everything the opposite. Okay, you don't have to make this complicated. Just do everything. Now, I'm going to share files with you, just the face of it, so you guys can see the documents that we have here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the documents, but in the next video, I'll open up the documents and we'll go through them. I still have some work to do here, but we're to the point where I can show you this. This is what the new package looks like. I'm just gonna go down the list. It's not in any order. So this first document here is a demand for mortgage fraud sanctions. This document also addresses the fact that the players, the judge is not registered with FAR in violation of federal law. Now, the value of the demand for sanction sanctions, we're asking 3.5 or 10 million, whatever you're asking. The demand for sanctions is like a mini lawsuit that you would file inside of their filing. So you file this demand for sanctions without having to pay filing fees, okay? And it's just one of the punching documents. You're not going to just file this and go sit down and wait for them to answer. That's not how we do it. The people who do that get their stuff thrown out in the yard. I'm just saying. Demand for sanctions. Oh, it's pretty powerful. This next one here is diplomatic immunity of state citizens. That one we can open up. This walks you through what you need to know to fill out the passport card to gain your state citizenship status. It has all of the information that you need in there. It even has the passport form, and it shows you how to fill that form out and everything. Now, you're on your own on this. This is not part of my process. Someone sent this to me, and I'm sharing it with you guys. The reason that we are using this is to protect people after when they start doing things. And so you can just scroll down there and see how that goes. And this is the affidavit of state citizenship that we have in there. And then the offer to pay letter. The offer to pay letter is pretty cool. You guys can look on, you can search on YouTube in my channel, and I have several videos on how to use the offer to pay letter. Basically, the offer to pay letter has the statute in it that the law says they have to follow. And this statute mandates that in order for them to call in the full loan, whatever, that they're supposed to provide the original instrument of indebtedness according to the law. So this allows you to let you know your legal team put this together. You're willing to pay everything that they say you owe plus some extra, as long as they're willing to show up with the original instrument of indebtedness to provide you when you write the check. We already know they don't have it, okay? They sent it over to China, and everybody's worried that China owns everything over here, and we don't own shit ourselves, okay? So I'm just saying. Oh, okay, so the value of this offer to pay letter is, I put this in the package, in the foreclosure fraud lawsuit package. So the people that want to challenge this before they're in default will have an opportunity to do that. And the people that's in default, if you're not facing being pushed off the eviction cliff, you can use this letter as well, especially after you get some punches in. And what we do is we send this letter a certified return receipt so you can verify that they received it. And if there's a situation, you know, if you're already in court, then you just do a judicial notice and let the court know that you've offered to pay as soon as these people can come up with what the law says that they're supposed to provide you when you pay in full. And so here's the thing. If they can't come up with this, then you're not in default. You're not in default if they can't come up with what the law says they're supposed to have to call in the note. So yeah, this offer to pay letter is pretty badass. The banker's secret fear. We have also included the banker's secret manual on how to cancel bank loans, and this is for the people who are doing this as a legal coaching business. This is for the people that are doing it as a legal coaching business. This offers additional information that you can use to put in your lawsuits that you structure for people. Now, this is a legal malpractice lawsuit that I provide, and basically you can't prove legal malpractice unless the whole community dies. So what we do is we structured this to go after the attorney for breach of contract. And when you go after them for breach of contract, you can also include punitive damages. So you can do the cha-ching chang on the attorney that you paid to get your back and threw you under the bus in the end. Now, the way we usually do this, the way I suggest doing this, is not using this right away. If you pay an attorney to help you with protect your property, and the attorney threw your ass under the bus in the end, then my suggestion is to add the attorney as a plaintiff to their stuff using their punching documents. And subsequently add the attorney that you paid to your lawsuit that you're filing against the rest of them. And when you get done with all of that, then you can whip this out. That's after the serious beat down. Then you whip this out and finish them off. Now, we added notice of default I've added a few new documents in here that I created for my son. The notice of default's been beefed up. We've added the temporary restraining order to block federal funding. It's been beefed up. And then we have a top secret banker's manual. And this is the actual lawsuit for foreclosure fraud. It's a little bit different than the lawsuit that we have in the 42 U.S.C. foreclosure offensive lawsuit package. Like I said, and this when we address the 42 U.S.C. issue and the foreclosure fraud. Like, for instance, in this lawsuit, you're claiming there are 6 things missing from the contract that the attorneys are using to try and steal your property. Now, I can't go over all 6 things, but I can remember one of them. These 6 things that you're saying are missing are the things that was the path of the mortgage fraud after you left the table, the illegal process and all that stuff that they took. 6 things that we're addressing here outline those things. For instance, one of the 6 things that you're saying is missing in the mortgage fraud package, in the foreclosure fraud package, mortgage fraud package, foreclosure fraud package, is that you've agreed with the lender that the lender would do the deal, the mortgage loan, according to the GAAP accounting principle. Bam! And they can't say they did because they didn't. They can't say they didn't because they would be admitting that they violated federal law. One of the other things that you're saying is missing, I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 for free. All right? One of the other things that you're saying is missing is that you and the lender agreed that the borrower would be repaid. So those of you who know your shit, you know that that's pretty badass right there, because the lead's loan was generated with your signature. So you're the actual, they're not gonna want to talk about that. And then this one down here, we have a demand to strike because the judge is not registered with FAR, and there's a bunch of other things in there too. Basically, in this new beefed up demand to strike, we use a lot of stuff that's in the lawsuit. We use stuff in the lawsuit. And for the temporary restraining order, we use some stuff in the lawsuit and some stuff in demand to strike. Y'all keeping up with me? And notice the default, we use some. All right. I didn't think I need to go over that much more. So my goal is to provide you with a comprehensive lawsuit package, training, videos, and coaching that you need to stop the judges and attorneys in their trap, and the state, because the state's the one paying them all. That's why we add the state to their stuff as the plaintiff, or to your stuff as a defendant, along with the judge, also the agent that started this stuff. Yeah, we don't be rolling with no fake shit or worrying about corporation stuff. I don't use capital names or worry about putting judge on my document. I just put the people's name because I ain't trying to sue that shit. I just want to sue the people and take their property. Now, one of the things that we also do is when you add the attorney to your lawsuit, to whatever you have to. We add the attorney's property to damages to your claim, and when you do that, you have to look up the property, see who the owners are, to make sure that you serve the other signer on the property. Attorneys get really mad when you do that stuff, and those are just some of the things that you guys are going to learn how to do in this new package.